Let me start by saying this. The world is not short of voices, but it is starving for clarity, sincerity, and respect. Every day, millions of people talk, but only a few truly connect, inspire, and command the respect they deserve. The way we speak has the power to transform our relationships, shape our destiny, and even change the world. So let me ask you this. When you speak, do people stop and listen? Do they lean in because your words carry weight? Or do they tune out because your voice gets lost in the noise? Today I want to share with you 7 ways to speak so people respect you. But before we dive into that, let me remind you, respect isn't demanded, it's earned. It's not about how loud you are, but how authentic, thoughtful, and impactful your words can be. So let's get into it, because I promise you, if you master these principles, not only will people respect you, but they'll remember you. 1, avoid over apologizing. Own your presence. All right, let's talk about something we've all been guilty of: over apologizing. How often do you catch yourself saying, "I'm sorry," for things that don't even require an apology? You're in a meeting, you voice an opinion, and before you know it, those words tumble out. "I'm sorry, but." Stop right there. Apologizing for speaking up, for having a thought, for breathing air and existing in the room. Nah, my friend, that's not the energy we're bringing today. When you over apologize, it's like handing over your power on a silver platter. It's saying, "Hey, I'm not sure I deserve to be here," or worse, "Please don't be upset that I dared to exist in your space." Now, I don't know about you, but that's not the kind of message I want to send. Life is tough enough without us undermining ourselves before we even start. Every unnecessary "I'm sorry" chips away at your confidence, your credibility, and the respect you're working hard to earn. Let's flip the script. Now imagine this. Instead of apologizing, you lead with strength. Instead of saying, "Sorry to bother you," you say, "Excuse me, may I have a moment of your time?" See how that changes the tone? One's an apology, the other is a respectful assertion. It's about owning your space and saying, "I'm here and I have something valuable to contribute." Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't about bulldozing through conversations or dismissing the feelings of others. It's not about being rude or reckless. Respect and empathy always come first. But there's a difference between being polite and being a doormat. When you swap out those "I'm sorry" reflexes, you're not being impolite, you're being intentional. You're valuing yourself and what you bring to the table. That's not arrogance, that's self-respect. Think about it. Are you really sorry for having an idea? Are you truly regretful for contributing to the conversation? Of course not. So why let those words dilute your message? Let's practice some alternatives. Instead of saying, "I'm sorry, I just have a quick question," try, "I have a question." direct, clear, no apology necessary. Or instead of sorry to interrupt, say, may I add something? You're still being courteous, but now you're speaking from a place of strength rather than submission. And here's the magic. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. At first, it might feel a little awkward. You might catch yourself mid, I'm sorry, and have to hit the brakes. That's okay. It's all part of the process. Over time, you'll notice a shift not just in how others respond to you, but in how you see yourself. You'll walk into rooms with a little more swagger, speak with a little more authority, and leave with a little more respect. Why? Because you showing up as someone who believes in their worth. And when you believe it, others believe it too. This shift isn't just about words, it's about mindset. It's about recognizing that you have every right to be here. Whether it's in a meeting, a classroom, or a conversation with a stranger, your voice matters. Your ideas matter. You matter. And no, you don't need to apologize for that. So stand tall, speak clearly, and own your presence. You've got this. 2, know your value. All right, let's get something straight from the jump. Knowing your value is not just a suggestion, it's a necessity. Picture this as the cornerstone of the life you're building, the thing that holds it all together. Because if you don't respect yourself, how in the world can you expect anyone else to? That's not just a question, that's a wake-up call. You've got to see yourself clearly, without filters or apologies, and understand what you bring to the table. Now, I'm not talking about arrogance here. Don't get it twisted. Arrogance is a cheap knockoff of self-worth, and it's all smoke and mirrors. It says, I'm better than you, but what it really means is, I'm scared you might not see me at all. True self-worth, that's a quiet strength. It says, I have something meaningful to contribute. And trust me, people can feel the difference like night and day. When you speak with confidence, not cockiness, and when that confidence comes from knowing who you are and what you are about, your words have a way of cutting through the noise and hitting straight to the heart. Let's pause for a second. Think about this. Your voice is one of a kind. Nobody else on this spinning blue rock has your perspective, your experiences, or your story. Let that sink in. You've got a voice that matters, a voice that's uniquely yours. So why on earth would you shrink it down to fit into somebody else's idea of who you should be? Now, don't do that. When you walk into a room, don't just exist in the space. Own it. Expand to fill it. Stretch out your arms, metaphorically speaking, and say, I'm here and I've got something to say. You see, respect starts with you. It's how you see yourself when nobody's watching. How you talk to yourself when it's just you in that mirror. Do you build yourself up or do you tear yourself down? Because here's the thing. People treat you the way you teach them to treat you. If you see yourself as valuable, as worthy of time and attention, others will follow your lead. But if you're constantly second guessing, apologizing for being, well, guess what? People will pick up on that energy and treat you the same way. And let's be real, knowing your value doesn't mean you're perfect. Nobody is. It means you're aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. You embrace them both, not as excuses, but as parts of your story. You show up flaws and all and say, this is me. That kind of authenticity, it's magnetic. It draws people to you, not because you've got it all figured out, but because you're real. So here's the deal. Starting today, make a commitment to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I am valuable. I have something to contribute. Say it like you mean it, because it's true. And then go out and live like you believe it. Speak with confidence, not from a place of needing to prove something, but from a place of already knowing your worth. Because when you know your value, you don't have to fight for respect. It's still here, this moment right now, but he was afraid. So he took a step back. He was afraid. He wasn't willing to reach for a star. He was willing to walk, but this star is his home in everything. 3, master the art of listening. You know, respect is a two-way street. It's not just about demanding it, it's about earning it. And one of the fastest ways to earn it, listening. Not that half-hearted, I'm just waiting for my turn to speak kind of listening. No, I'm talking about the kind of listening that makes people sit up straighter, makes them feel like they matter. The kind of listening that says, I see you, I hear you, and I respect you. Here's the deal. When you listen, you learn. And when you learn, you grow. That growth feeds wisdom, and wisdom, that's what turns heads and earns respect. People admire those who make them feel valued. So what does that kind of listening look like? Let me break it down for you. First, lock in. I mean, really lock in. Make eye contact, like you're saying, you have my full attention. Nod occasionally, not like you're a bobblehead, but enough to let them know you're present. Show them they're not just talking to the air or to someone's Instagram feed. Give them that energy that says, I'm here with you 100%. Second, ditch the distractions. Put the phone away. Silence the notifications. Whatever it is that's stealing your focus, it can wait. Because when someone's sharing their thoughts, their fears, their dreams with you, that's sacred space right there. Honor it. Show them that their words carry weight and that you're invested in the conversation. And let's not forget the power of questions. Oh, questions are magical. Not the generic, oh yeah, that's cool kind. I mean real, thoughtful questions. The kind that dig deeper. The kind that show you've been paying attention and you're curious to know more. When someone says, you're really good at this, don't just smile and move on. Ask them, what makes you say that? What stood out to you? You're not just listening, you're engaging. Now let's address the silent killer of conversations, interruptions. Don't do it. Don't jump in with your opinions, your anecdotes, or your advice. Even if you're itching to share, hold your tongue. Let them finish. Because every time you interrupt, you're sending a message. that your thoughts matter more than theirs. And trust me, that's not how you earn respect. Let them speak their truth, and when they're done, then and only then. Here's another secret. Silence is golden. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. A thoughtful pause can say more than a rushed response. It shows you're taking it all in, that you're processing what they've said. And when you do speak, your words will carry that much more weight. They'll be informed by understanding, not assumptions. Let's be real, this kind of listening takes practice. It takes patience. It takes humility. But when you master it, you're not just hearing words. You're building connections. You're showing respect. You're creating a space where people feel safe to be themselves. And in a world that's often too busy, too loud, too distracted, that kind of listening is rare. It's powerful. It's transformative. So the next time someone speaks to you, don't zone out. Don't think about what's for dinner or what you're going to say next. Be present. Be engaged. Listen like it matters, because it does. That's how you earn respect. That's how you build relationships. That's how you lead with wisdom and grace. And if you ask me, that's how you change the world one conversation at a time. 4, choose your words wisely. Let me tell you something, words. Oh, they're not just things that spill out of your mouth and float away into the air. No. Words are like tools. They're like bricks. They can build a cathedral of trust, respect, and love, where they can tear down walls and leave nothing but rubble behind. Words are power. And just like any power, they've got to be used responsibly. When you speak, ask yourself this: are you speaking to connect or just to fill the silence? Think about it. Too many times people talk just to hear themselves. They're filling up space with words that mean nothing. That's not communication. That's just noise. If you want to be respected, if you want to inspire, if you want to lead, and I know you do, then you've got to choose your words like a chef chooses ingredients carefully, intentionally, and with a whole lot of love. Here's a little exercise for you. Before you open your mouth, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Oh, that's a big one, necessary. Just because something pops into your head doesn't mean it has to roll off your tongue. If it doesn't pass that test, maybe, just maybe, it's better left unsaid. You're not weaker for holding back. You're stronger because you're thinking ahead. That's wisdom, my friend. That's discipline. Now let's get into tone. Because if words are the bricks, tone is the mortar that holds them together. You can say the most brilliant thing in the world, but if it comes out wrong, oh, you're in trouble. Your tone can turn a blessing into a slap in the face. So how do you fix it? Speak with warmth. Speak with respect. Speak like you're trying to lift someone up, not knock them down. Speak with conviction, like you believe in what you're saying, because let's face it, if you don't believe in your own words, who else will? And don't forget this, your tone doesn't just come from your voice, it comes from your face, your posture, your whole vibe. Are you frowning while you're saying something nice? Are you shrugging while you're setting? While you're making a commitment? People pick up on that. Communication isn't just about words, it's about presence. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. But here's the real kicker: words aren't just for others, they're for you too. The words you speak shape the person you are. You can talk yourself into a hole, or you can talk yourself into greatness. Speak like someone who knows their worth, like someone who's going places. Let your words reflect the future you're building, not the fears you're running from. At the end of the day, words are your legacy. Think about it. Long after you've left the room, your words will stick around. They'll echo in someone's mind, for better or for worse. So make them count. Use your words to inspire, to connect, to build bridges instead of walls. Because when you choose your words wisely, you're not just speaking. You're creating, you're leaving a mark. So the next time you're about to say something, pause. Breathe. Remember the power you hold. And then speak not to fill the silence, but to make it sing. 5, embrace silence. Silence is not your enemy, it's your ally. In fact, sometimes the most powerful thing you can say, listen to me, silence ain't your enemy, it's your ally. Too many times we rush to fill the air with words, thinking it makes us seem more confident or more important. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can say in a moment is absolutely nothing at all. You see, silence isn't some void, it's an opportunity. A space where your thoughts can marinate, your words can gather strength, and your presence can be felt without a single sound. Imagine this, you're in a conversation and everything's flowing. Then the words start to dry up. People squirm a little, right? They're looking around trying to fill the silence. But here's the thing, instead of scrambling for something to say, take a step back. Let that silence sit there for a second. When you don't rush to speak, you give your words room to breathe. You create space, like the calm before a storm. And believe me, when you finally do speak, it'll have weight. People will lean in, their ears wide open, because you didn't waste their time with filler. And here's where it gets real. Silence shows confidence. You don't need to blabber on just to make your mark. You can stand tall in that silence, knowing that when you speak, it's going to mean something. Don't believe me? Try it. Watch people's eyes as you stand there, letting the moment stretch. They'll be hanging on to every second, because they'll wonder what's next, what's about to come out of that mouth. Now, I know you might be thinking, but Denzel, isn't silence just awkward? Nah, it's not awkward. It's power, real power. The kind of power that lets you control the conversation without dominating it. People get uncomfortable with silence because they're not used to it. But guess what? They'll get used to it when they realize you're not rushing. You're not desperate to say something just to fill the air. You're strategic. You're thoughtful. So here's the trick: use silence to your advantage. You don't always need to be talking to have a voice. You don't always need to be loud to be heard. Use that pause, that quiet moment to reflect, to listen, to gather your thoughts. In that space, you're doing more than just standing there. You're analyzing, you're observing, you're making sure that when you do speak, it's with purpose. And when your words do hit the air, they'll be deliberate. They'll be chosen carefully. And that makes all the difference. Think about it like this: every conversation has its rhythm. There's a flow to it. But if you're always speaking, if you're always filling the space, the rhythm gets lost. The music stops. People start tuning you out. They might not even realize it, but they'll start longing for the quiet moments, the spaces between the notes, the times when they don't know exactly what you're going to say next, but know that it'll be worth the wait. And here's the real secret: when you stop filling every silence with your own voice, you create space for others to speak. You allow them the room to open up, to share their thoughts. This isn't just about you, it's about making the conversation richer, more meaningful. You respect the moment enough to let the other person breathe too. It's like playing chess with your words. You don't always have to make the next move immediately sometimes. You wait. You let your opponent think they've got the advantage, and when they don't expect it, you strike with precision. You see, silence is a form of respect. It's about honoring the other person's thoughts, giving them the space to process, to speak. It's not about rushing through a conversation to get to the end, to get your point across, or to get validation. It's about being fully present in that moment, taking it all in, and only speaking when it truly matters. The best leaders, the best communicators, they know how to use silence to their advantage. They don't rush. They don't panic when the conversation slows down. They know that sometimes the most powerful thing to do is sit back and wait. Think about the greatest moments of drama in a movie or the most impactful speeches. Often it's the pauses that make it unforgettable. The silence before a big reveal, the dramatic build-up before a crucial decision. Those moments have weight because they're given room to breathe. That's what you're doing in conversation. You're making every moment count. You're not just filling the air with noise. You're making sure that when you speak, it's intentional. It's meaningful. So next time you're in a conversation, don't fear the silence. Embrace it, own it. Let it work for you. Use it to reflect. Use it to listen. Use it to gather your thoughts. And when you finally speak, make sure your words carry the power, the intention, and the weight that silence has given you. You'll be amazed at how much more respect you'll earn and how much more powerful your words will become. Remember, it's not about filling the space with sound, it's about making every moment in that space count. And when you master that, trust me, you'll be unstoppable. 6, be authentic and genuine. Let me tell you something, folks, there's a certain power in being real. I'm not talking about a surface level, hey, how's it going kind of real. I'm talking about the kind of authenticity that hits deep, the kind of real that people can feel in their bones. You ever walk into a room and feel like someone's faking it? You can smell it, can't you? It's like a bad perfume that doesn't belong. You know when someone is putting on a mask. It's like a bad performance, a show where the actor forgets his lines. And the audience knows it. So why would you ever want to be that person? Authenticity is magnetic. It pulls people in like nothing else. When you stand firm in who you are, no pretenses, no gimmicks, people can't help but respect that. It's like a light shining in the darkness, drawing others toward it. And that's what you need to do. Stand tall in your truth and don't apologize for it. No one's asking for perfection. Lord knows none of us are perfect, myself included. But there's a powerful truth in that imperfection. There's something freeing about not having to pretend to be someone else. And if you can get to the point where you embrace who you are, flaws and all, you'll see people start respecting you more than if you were trying to wear a mask and play a role. Let me break it down for you. When you're authentic, you don't have to keep up with the act. You don't have to memorize the script and hope you don't mess up. Your words and actions align with who you are, and that's a weight off your shoulders. Think about that. No need to put on airs. No need to play the part that you think the world wants to see. Just show up, be you, and let the chips fall where they may. The right people will gravitate toward you, the people who respect the real you, not the version of you that's been polished and refined to fit some imaginary mold. There's a strength in being vulnerable, in showing the world that you're not perfect, I know it can feel scary, like you're exposing yourself in a way that makes you open to criticism or rejection. But let me tell you something, vulnerability is not a weakness. Not even close. It's one of the most powerful things you can bring to the table. Why? Because it shows courage. It says, I'm willing to be seen, I'm willing to be heard, even when I'm not at my best. And when people see that, they don't just respect you, they connect with you. You're human, and so are they. They've been through struggles, they've been through pain. They get it. But here's the real kicker: when you're authentic, you'll find that you build relationships with real depth. You'll connect with people on a level that goes beyond surface level small talk. You'll make friends, allies, even mentors, because you've made yourself approachable through your honesty. And when people see that you're genuine, they know that you're someone they can trust. Trust is a currency that you can't buy. It's earned. And you earn it by showing the world the real you. Now, I'm not saying you have to spill every detail of your life or wear your heart on your sleeve at all times. That's not what authenticity is about. It's not about oversharing or living in a state of constant vulnerability. It's about letting people in enough to see who you really are, your values, your integrity, your beliefs. It's about speaking with conviction, because you know that what you're saying comes from the heart. And when you speak from the heart, your words have weight. They carry meaning. They resonate with others. Oh, let's take a moment to address something that a lot of people miss. Being authentic doesn't mean you have to lower your standards or let people walk all over you. No, no, no. Authenticity is about standing in your truth, but it's also about protecting your peace. It's about setting boundaries, about knowing what you will tolerate and what you won't. And that's where your integrity comes into play. When people see that you have integrity, they see that you're not willing to compromise your values for anyone or anything. They see that you're someone who walks the walk, not just talks the talk, but you also walk the walk. You want to know a secret? People respect you more when you're true to yourself than when you try to be someone you're not. That's a fact. Hey, think about how many times have you encountered someone who's clearly trying too hard to impress, to be something they're not? Doesn't that just make you want to walk in the other direction? But when someone is comfortable in their own skin, when they're not worried about measuring up or keeping up with anyone, that's magnetic. That's the kind of energy that makes people want to be around you. And the best part, you don't have to do anything but be yourself. You don't have to put on a show or play the game. You don't have to act like you're something you're not. So here's my challenge to you. Drop the act. Let go of the fear of judgment. Let your words reflect your character. Let them reflect your values. Let them reflect who you truly are, not who you think you should be. Because when people know they're getting the real you, flaws, scars, victories, and all, they'll respect you in a way that no mask or act can ever achieve. At the end of the day, this life is about connection. It's about being real with others and with yourself. And when you show up as the authentic version of yourself, you're inviting the world to meet you on your terms. That's a power you can't underestimate. So don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to be authentic. It's the one thing you can give the world that no one else can. It's your truth, your story, and no one can take that away from you. So stand tall, speak with conviction, and be the real you. And let me tell you, when you do that, you'll find that the world starts treating you just the way you deserve. 7, lead with empathy. Let me tell you something about empathy. If you want to lead, if you want to make people listen to you, if you want to be respected, then you got to lead with empathy. And I'm not just talking about feeling sorry for people. Nah, it's way deeper than that. You got to understand that every person you encounter is fighting a battle that you don't know nothing about. Everybody's carrying a weight, whether it's something personal, something emotional, something professional. They're struggling, just like you, just like me, just like me. Now, your words, my friend, your words, they have power, a lot of power. You can either uplift or you can tear someone down. It's your choice. Every time you open your mouth, you're either building someone up or breaking them down. What you say can make a difference in someone's day, their mindset, their whole damn life. So ask yourself, what kind of impact do you want to have? Do you want to be that person who lifts people up, who gives them strength when they need it? Or do you want to be the one who piles on more weight to an already heavy load? The choice is yours. I want the Holy Spirit to speak to you over anybody that you admire, that you value, or that you are committed to. Now, empathy ain't about agreeing with everyone. Let me make that clear. You don't have to see eye to eye with someone to respect them. You don't have to share their opinion or even their point of view. Empathy is about valuing their perspective. It's about saying, I may not agree with you, but I hear you. I understand where you're coming from. That's where the respect comes in. And when people feel that from you, they're not just listening to your words, they're respecting you for who you are. Your heart, your integrity, your ability to stand in their shoes, even if it's just for a moment. And when you lead with empathy, people don't just follow you because you're a boss. They follow you because they believe in you. They respect you because you're real. You're grounded. You're human. So speak with kindness. Speak with compassion. And always, always speak with understanding. When you do that, you'll not only earn respect, you'll earn trust. And trust, my friend, that's the foundation of leadership. Now, let me leave you with this. Your voice is your power. Use it wisely. Speak with confidence, but also with humility. Speak with clarity, but also with empathy. Speak your truth, but also make space for others to share theirs. When you do this, you'll not only earn respect, you'll inspire it. So the next time you open your mouth to speak, remember, your words matter. Make them count. Thank you.